Well, hello everyone. How are you doing? It is Tuesday and welcome. Free thinkers, all are welcome. Hope your day is going. My morning has been, how shall we say, ever so enlightening. So, hello, Miss Deborah Tucker. How are you doing? And Brent and Jamie, how are you? Jaguar Spirit, I love that. Shoots for par, as I said. May it be so. Your words not return to you void, but accomplish that for which you speak. Hey, Brad White, how are you doing? Good to see you. Experimental Elements, hello. Good to see you. Lori, how you doing? Brian, Mary, and Neil, the same Jessica, Shannon, how are you? So, groovy people, awakening being, peace. So, want to give a shout out to Charlotte. I saw your comment earlier, and isn't it so? She did the exercise and found out, as many will find out, that we're so asleep. Even us. I think there's degrees of awareness and awakening. I don't think we can all awake to the fullness of awareness because I think it would literally freak us out. You know, the circuitry would go, and that would be it, baby. So I think it comes in gradual doses, as everything does in this temporal plane. I think it probably exists in others. But we're going to get into some things, folks, that if you start getting into this, it's going to change your freaking life. And again, I'll share something with you. So I practice this. I just don't tell you these things and don't put them into action. And I share with you my experience as I get more into it. As it's being told to me by my spirit guide, which introduced me to two new companions, we can, and actually someone wrote this, and I thought it was very apropos. The other figures that we have seen in history that has been written about, whether it be Buddha, whether it be Muhammad, whether it be Jesus, any number of incarnations of that mindset. There's stories of monks, those who have set themselves aside, not just monks, others who, hello there, Anna, how are you doing? Good to see you. That material classified, good to see you as well. That you can transcend. So I'll share something with you that happened to me this morning. I'm understanding, like the sign says, do you believe in your name? Folks, this is serious stuff. And the ones who start getting it, we very well may start transcending right out of these bodies. So something happened to me this morning, which was pretty far out, to be honest with you. I've replaced fear with awe. Let's take the death experience. It's going to be an experience. I think you can go two ways about it. You can look at it like far out. Let's check this out, because there's always going to be something on the other end, or you can dread it and fear it and yada, yada, yada. And that's what most people are taught. But if you get this, wow. So here I am standing, and I don't wear clothes. It's just the way I meditate. And I have the environment where I can do that. And as I began to invoke my name, staring in the mirror, doing my mirror exercises, I started invoking the power of my name, the sovereignty of my name. The weirdest thing began to happen. I saw literally from right here, I'll put the camera down a little bit. From right here, going up through here, over here, light began to emit. Seriously, folks, there was this light. So I said to myself, actually, I spoke to myself in my first person, Robert Wayne Steiger. What did I just observe? I walked away from the mirror, began to close my eyes and simply focus in on what the image of what I was being shown. And so, as any good scientist would do, I wanted to see if the experiment conducted again would result the same results. Well, they did. So I'll share something with the group. It was 1987. I had a out of body experience of vision. I was taken. I now know who was in there. I always interpreted it as an angel. Well, I know it now as my spirit guide. And anyway, I was in a place and I was walking along a river and I was no longer in my body. I was literally light. I had what you could call appendages, but I didn't have the sense of either standing on anything or being off balance. So I related what happened to me this morning in very much that same way. I believe many of us among us here, we are in fact light beings. And as they've been saying, the activation, hello, Shannon, how are you doing? Begins to resonate, and it resonates differently in all of us. I have no doubt that many of you have had similar experiences. So, to all who is drinking tea, cheers to you. You ever think about taste as a separate dimension? Think about it. Now, I don't know if spirits can taste. I don't know if they can feel. I don't know. I often wonder how we actually think if we don't have a brain. But those are questions we'll ponder as we continue. However, while we're in this plane of existence, one of the coolest things that we get to do is, in fact, experience these 5 things we call senses. I had a theory once back in my days when I was heavily into theology that one of the reasons when people become what they call possessed is that you have a spirit energy, an entity who's never experienced these 5 senses. Remember, we're born into this. So we've got time to begin to acclimate, begin to figure out what works, what this is about. But if you suddenly have a freeloader who comes in and begins to squat, what happens is they begin to get the channel opened and they are overwhelmed with these 5 senses hitting them all at the same time, having never experienced it. And thus you get the reaction. But getting back to that point, taste. I mean, you think about it. Taste in itself is a completely separate dimension. Salty, sweet, and it all falls into the lines of the Hermetica. What begins to transcend from salty to sweet in taste? I mean, cinnamon, nutmeg, just these exotic spices. They said at one time, these spices that we take for granted were only reserved for the gods. And you know what? I happen to agree. I am a god. Therefore, I can understand why it was reserved for such a time for me to experience. I'll take that awareness, and when I get back, it's becoming very much aware to me. It's not reincarnation, folks. Now, there may be some element to that. You have to consider that there is an element of that around. But I think for the greater percentages of those who are gods in training, we have this unique ability to experience many different things in many different planes. And this one just so happens to be one of the more unique ones. I don't know what others exist, and we're going to see something here in a minute, how there are worlds out there. This world at one time was bathed in purple light. Renee, thank you for sending that. So, yeah. How much do you really believe in your name? Let's get into the first part of this, and we'll get more into the interactive. I'll look at the chat room here, because I got some questions for all of us to really think about right from the get-go. All right, so this is the copyright disclaimer. Boy, after reading what the EU has done, what the hell were those people thinking? Anyway, just my opinion. And remember, folks, opinion is defined as that resides between ignorance and knowledge. So, what is the power of your name? I mean, if this was, let me put it this way. If this was the last thing that you were going to be taught or listened to, and you, by whatever destiny, whatever necessity, made the transition to the other side, may be the most valuable thing for you, because we can begin to experiment, and begin to exercise a whole different way of thinking. And so if you're serious about this, write down right now, what is the power of your name? Can you intelligently, intellectually honest, write down right now in less than one paragraph, what is the power of your name? Can you even write anything about the power of your name? I would say that the odd makers in Vegas would say, I'd probably be hitting the 90 percentile that most can't. Okay. Do you believe in your name? I'll guarantee you most of you do not. Because if you did, you would not be in the circumstance that you are in right now. Problem is, most of you don't believe at all. Do you have faith in your name? Again, I'm hitting the 90 percentile or higher. Most people do not. If they are being completely honest with themselves. Not out to show everyone else how smart you are, how aware you are, Boy, I just had a deja vu, folks. Wow. This one, yeah, that was weird. All right. I have done this before. That's the weirdest feeling. Anyway. All right. So I'm probably right now hitting on the questions. Probably, if I'm not hitting 4 for 4, I'm hitting 3 for 4 that the answers have been no. Now, what is the meaning of your name? Now, here's the trap, folks. You can go back and you can begin to look at where the word root came from and how that evolved. That's not what I'm asking here. That has nothing to do with it at all. What I'm asking you is, what is the meaning of your name? Do you have the spirit understanding of what your name is? Your name has a frequency, a vibration. I know what mine is. You see, folks, I'm a God. I have lived many names that I haven't remembered, but in this plane, this name counts a lot. If you do not believe in your name, neither will the spirits. I got people writing me saying, help guide me. I want to know more about invocations, casting spells. And I'm thinking to myself, you don't have a clue, sunshine, what you're doing. You're going to get decimated. You're going to get in so far over your head that it'll take a crane to pull you up just enough to get above your socks so you can get some fresh air. Because the thing is, darling, if you don't believe in your name, you have no power. And what you show up in the spirit realm is no light, no power. And the spirits will run you over, darling. You got problems with spirits manifesting? So-called evil spirits? You know why you don't invoke your name? Because you don't believe in it, and they won't either. And so you have to rely on someone else's name, hoping like hell that they're going to be somehow motivated by that name. Most people, to be honest with you, in religious cults, ideologies, denominations, don't believe in themselves at all. But they'll take up a name that they have been told holds power, authority. And it works sometimes, and sometimes it don't work. People have died believing in that. In the spirit realm, a name means everything. Now, I saw someone say, well, you know, I was born a name, but then I got adopted and I had a name change. I've had multiple name changes. What was your given name at birth? That's the name that has been endued with power, especially if you're a god. Now, if you do not believe in your name, when confronted with the unseen forces, you will be tested, and most will fail because you mean nothing unless you have a name. Before you cast any spell, invoke anything other than the favor blessing, because that's a cleansing. It teaches you, again, to be aware of this realm. But you start trying to invoke things to materialize, you just walked into a web, a trap. Faith in a name, any name, makes it powerful. You want to know why so many people can get healed in religious rituals and ceremonies? I was very much a part of that crowd. Saw it, witnessed it. It's because it works. People believe in a name. And when you apply that essence we call faith. It's an amazing elixir, folks. I call it elixir because what we see it even in the animal kingdom and the plant kingdom. My dog has faith in me. She knows that she can come even when I'm in my office and stick her head in the office to let me know she wants to go outside. There, you can learn so much if you begin to live in awe. Plants. I got plants that love rock and roll, and I get others that love classical French horn, one of my favorite. I have several instruments that just I can actually transcend out. An oboe and a French horn. Anyway, I saw a good friend that I hadn't seen since 8th grade. Her and I played in the band together, clarinet. Anyway, so getting back to the faith in the name. You see, that's the trap. When you begin to believe in another name more than your own, that's very dangerous ground to be on. Because here's the problem. And I'll give you the example. Many people in politics will trick you. And particularly youth. They're very easily tricked, very easily manipulated. As you get older, it gets a little harder. But they'll begin to believe in a candidate. And that candidate begins to grow by the increasing amount of faith people put in that candidate's name. You see it all the time in life. And the thing about it is, it's your faith. And you've neglected the most precious thing, yourself. Think about it this way. All gods, small g, all angels, all spirits, all demons, all in the spirit realm have a name. Don't walk around and just say, hey, how you doing? How you doing? Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you? No. That would be insanity. There is structure and order in every plane of existence, whether it be the grossest of matter or the highest in spirit. All have names. And here's the thing, folks. Everything I just listed here, They got more faith in their name than you do. Fact. Here's the deal. Any name can heal. Any name can deliver. Any name can restore. Any name can cleanse. Any name can call anything into existence. I, Robert Wayne Steiger, am healing. I am delivered. I am restored. I am cleansed. I, Robert Wayne Steiger, can call substance into existence. I am a God. My name is held in high revere and respect. If you don't respect your name, if you don't revere your name, why would any spirit? Why would any God? You really think praying's going to help? This is how all spirits, including you, sweetheart, got their names. And get this, power. Power. You don't know the power that you've wasted, that you've allowed something else to feed off of, that you've poured your life energy into. Your faith determines what power your name has here and later. Are you living where lack has always been present in your life? Are you living with a history of broken relationships, finding it's very difficult to understand yourself, questioning yourself? Do you live where you have more ailments than you sometimes can list? You see, your faith in your name carries so much weight. And when you don't respect your name, you don't believe in your name, you don't have anything that you can attribute to your name, how do you think that's going to work for you? The spirit realm can already see it now. What? They're just waiting for you. That shouldn't be the way it is. You should have more faith in your name than you do anything else. As I said yesterday, your name is God. But if you don't have any faith in that name, it's powerless. There's no effect. If you do not believe or have faith in your own name, nothing else will either. Not even the lowest of demons. You're no threat. You're no effect. Even the words that you speak fall devoid, energyless, no energy, powerless, no power, lifeless, no life. And the question is, why don't you believe in your name? Do you know you can invoke any invocation spell by your name alone? Your name is superior to any name of any demigod, any angel that you have ever seen written in any spell or incantation or dictionary. All of those names are beneath you. They must bow down to you. They must serve you, but they will not, because it's a disgrace to them when you do not even believe in your own name. Think about that. It's a disgrace. Folks, this is real. I mean, if you are not happy where you are in life right now, there's only one problem. It's you. There are energy tidal forces, waves that carry energy. They have cause and effect. They have vibration, polarity, and rhythm. And they have direct correspondence to the mentalization that you yourself have put yourself into. People say, well, I'm sovereign. Hockey puck. You're just mentally coitusing yourself. You no more think yourself sovereign than the man in the moon, because you don't believe in your name. You don't believe that you're a god. You think it's sacrilegious, somehow blasphemous, that a immortal that you're seeing here speaks boldly before the cosmos that my name as a god carries force and effect. I am a causer, not a victim of the causation. It sounds strange to you. I challenge any of you, go to the mirror after this is over, clothes are stripped down, challenge you to strip yourself down and stand in the mirror and start looking at yourself and start saying, I, whatever your name be, am a sovereign being. I am a God. My voice, my name is power. I have authority. And when my voice speaks in the name of whoever your name is, I invoke favor. I invoke peace. I invoke fortune. But you see, here's the problem. Most want it simply for the pleasure. And that's why your spirit guides will not participate in that. You're still immature. You're a neophyte. You're still wearing the diapers. Because let me tell you, folks, you should get to the point where you realize the material plane evaporates. What you have got to begin to learn is by living in the now and invoking your name now with the power and authority, it carries over into the next realm. Now, you may have had other names. That doesn't matter. The test is, what are you doing with your name now? And I dare say the greater percentage of us have wasted it, always depending on something else. Excuse me. So I'll get out of here. See, he says, get me out of here. So anyway, I doubt if you've ever heard anything like this. I mean, I haven't. If there was, I wouldn't be doing it. Maybe there is. Knowledge is not one specific force. transverses many forces and many energies. But I'm telling you, you want change? Start speaking in the sovereignty and the authority of your name. The more you do it, the more your faith grows, the more it increases, the more power will become with that name. I mean, think about it. Names mean everything. Sadly, so few understand that. Ever go and look at some of the more notoriety of people, business tycoons, princes, kings, queens, presidents? Look at their signatures. They know. They take great pride in their name. Look at Trump. He's the epitome of exactly what I'm talking about. He believes in his name, his family name. And this is the way to get yourself free. You have demons haunting you. You have dark energies tormenting you. The minute you stand up, sweetheart, and you look them straight into the abyss, and you tell them they shall not touch a God, that in the name of Robert Wayne Steiger, this is if I was doing it, you will not touch me. You will not be around me. I will cast you into the place that you fear the most. They won't mess with you. And the others begin to respect you. And then when you beckon them, they're going to do it with respect because they know who you are. How do you think that God's got to be gods? There's only the all. So all the others are imitators. How did they get it? I mean, you read the Christian Bible, you read the Quran, you read the Vedic. These gods make it damn clear to you real quick that you will bow to their name. Of course, I give them this now. I tell them, you will bow to my name. How dare you insult me? Now, I know that there are greater spirits that have grown than myself. But either at some point in time, you put on the royal robe, the crown, the ring, the signet ring, or it's going to get passed on to someone else. And I don't think anyone else wants to continue to go through this. I damn sure know most of you are tired of being buffeted, tired of being broke, tired of having bad luck, bad circumstances, can't work in the system. Yeah, you can. AI, whatever. Your name is even above AI. It's above any mind control. The minute that this becomes as real to you as your heart beating, you start breaking out, children. You start breaking out. Just the way it is. Yeah. We'll see how far this goes. There are a couple I'm talking to. You're getting it. I know you're emailing me. Some are getting it much quicker than others. And that's how you advance. See, I don't see how you can just simply transmutate Transmutate, that's exactly what's happening. To one plane of existence to another, until you start getting some of these fundamental principles down. You know, this transcends spirituality, New Age, the whole bit. This is truly sovereignty about yourself. And you know, if you can't see sovereignty within yourself, how are you going to see sovereignty in your God? Ask yourself, why would your God pay attention to you? What do you have in common? What, are you going to depend upon mercy? Benevolence? You know, if you want to stay a toddler, fine. I'm moving on. You see, you can get to a point where you walk into a room and you're probably going to be the only one who believes in the power and sovereignty of your name. See, your name is your spirit. And you walk into a room of crowded people and you see yourself as a God, you'll be surprised how many of the others in the room begin to sense that. Now, the shame is we should all be in the room equally endowed with that power. One day we will be. Listen, you're going to transcend this life. And let me tell you, I think that the way it works out is this. And again, I'm still exploring, but I'm asking. Well, Neil, thank you. Thank you. 100-fold return be back to you, my friend. That your vibration at your death begins to set a whole chain of events. And I think you're going to end up in exactly the vibration that you are vibrating here now. There's many different components to a vibration. And I think you'll be around your kind. Those who aspire to become gods, we go to a different place. We do. We go to a different place. You see, I think it becomes sometimes a matter of being able to immerse yourself out of all of this. I mean, the sensation of flesh combined with the mind, and it's really not so much the flesh, it is the mind. Pleasure can only be appreciated by the mind. Left to the body, pleasure can become pain very quickly. And so it's how we begin to see as a God, how we begin to put the imagination to work. Now, most of us are still trapped within the cranial capacity of these thinking devices. Some of us have been able to transcend outside of them. And there's others of us who know how to enter into that place. But that's how it works. And when you begin to see yourself as a God, the power of your name, you're not so much looking for riches anymore. You're not seeking retribution. You're not seeking to have judgment. You're not seeking to harm. You're not seeking to take away. You suddenly begin to see yourself as contributing. And contributing in such a manner that you're actually beginning to work with the elements. Because the elements will obey a name that is above their name. And your name is. Particularly if you are a God in training. But we don't think like that. We don't think in that matrix. We don't think of us being, that name being so reverenced. My question is, if you don't reverence your name, how can you reverence your God's name? You got nothing to base it on. What you're really doing is servitude. That's exactly what's happening. And why would a God respect you for that? I mean, how about yourself? You're in a room and you have different tables, right? Now you have a table for toddlers. We all know that hell. Then you got a table for the 5 and 6 year olds. It only gets worse. Then you get the table for the 10, the preteens, the teens, etc. What would you have more preference and in common with? The table with the mature thinkers? Or do you want to go down to the toddler's table? You're a God. You're a sovereign God. That's why the spirits, that's why the demons, that's why these concoctions of Satan, Lucifer, and, we're coming into Halloween and all the scary stuff. What? How could anything that be below you have power over you? I'm a God. My name has power and authority. Do not insult me, trying to control me. That changes things, folks. Those demons that have been hunching on your back, when that energy begins to course through your spirit being, they drop off because they become very afraid. Just like most of you are afraid to use your name. And it feels weird. Guarantee you for the first couple of months, it's going to feel weird. But when it starts kicking in, watch out. What about targeted individuals? All right, let's talk about that. How are targeted individuals targeted? It's usually some form of frequency. Look at vibration and polarity. You're a sovereign God. Now, when you can't, when people are so much, they're so deep into the web. I've had targeted individuals on here. I think that there's been times when I've been tried to be made a victim of it. But your mind control isn't going to work on me. And I dare say that when a person becomes so absolutely convinced that they are a God, a sovereign God, and start invoking their name in these situations and begin to speak that which be not as though it is, there's no frequency G5 anything. And in fact, if you read the CIA reports on mind control, we are the problem. We individuals, that myself, others that think like me, we are what they call that random factor. We don't fit. Good reason for it. Let me tell you how well this works. True story, folks. I had to go in for an endoscopy. This was a couple of years ago. So it's a, day type procedure. So my wife is a nurse. I love her so much. So she goes with me. And so, they do the prepping. They get the IVs in. Don't get someone that's a rookie. God, I hate needles, but I hate worse is when they're trying to poke in and find the vein. I mean, that's a pain. That's a pain that I can still feel the pain. Anyway, so they started to get you sedated, and they roll you in to the procedure room. They have to knock you out because they're putting the camera down your throat all the way into your gut. Well, the medication that they gave me was enough for any person my weight, size, to be out. Apparently, when that doctor tried to put that scope down my mouth, my throat, I was unconscious, folks, but my spirit was not. I began to fight him. What did they do? They hit me up with more sedatives. He comes back 5 minutes later, tries to put it down my throat. Ain't working. My body is literally grabbing as though I am conscious, and I'm not conscious. Then they hit me up again, and he gets 2 aides to come in. Folks, they could not put that scope down my throat. The doctor came out and told my wife, he says, and he had an accent, and he says, we can't do the procedure. And she says, why? And the guy says, your husband, he's very, very strong. So the point is, it's when you can actually be unconscious, where the subconscious begins to reign supreme, and the superconscious kicks in, and they know what the spirit knows, that you are a God in training. Folks, even if you're a Christian, even if you're in any religion, what is the goal? Even once you get to heaven. I mean, if it's not to be God's. Well, anyway, there you go. Well, this has been fun. By the way, before we get too far along, wanted to show y'all a couple of stories as we get out of here. We were going to do some reading, but I wanted to really just show you this. I know it's getting around, but folks, there you go. It's hitting out everywhere. How in the world you get a rectangle? This is the monolith, I swear. That's just flat out weird. Come on. Strange things going on in this planet world that we're in. Okay, so here is the purple Earth. Our Earth, oddly enough, apparently at one time was bathed in a beautiful purple light. I think I've been there. Anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. Here you go, folks. These are past stories I've done. So your poop is now full of plastic. You don't think we're transmutating into something? It is now a fact. Folks, the stuff has begun to impregnate itself into us. This is why we're getting cancers. This is why we're getting strange ailments. Folks, it's in us. We're eating it. We're pooping it. And if you poop it, guess what? You're going to be eaten again. Here's one. China has cloned 20 different dog breeds. Guess what? Well, humans are on the next one. Here's another one. You don't think we're not getting dumber? Well, you can't deny the evidence. We are getting dumber. What does that bode for us? Well, for me, I'm preparing for the journey, man. I'm preparing right now for the transition. My goal is to finish what I came here for. And when I'm ready, I'm going to be like Mr. Megorium. I am going to sit down and I'm going to leave. And I believe that can, in fact, has been done. And again, I don't see this transition to be something to be afraid of. And I think that when you finally start getting it, folks, you'll realize this is an experience unlike any other you're ever going to have. Love it. Dig it. Enjoy it. and master yourself along the way. That's the key. That's why we do these things. That's why we read the Hermetic principles. They are principles of wisdom, knowledge. And I don't like to see people suffering. I don't like to see people struggle. And if I can share a gift, then I'll share it with you. I live virtually most of this. So it's not fodder. It's life experience. And folks, there's a freedom when you begin to realize that you are God. Give me 1 second here. And I mean that in the most reverent and respectful way. In fact, I think when you can begin to admit to yourself that you are God, your relationship to whatever image exists within you that you align yourself with, you're going to find out that the communication starts getting much richer. You'll find out that your spirit guides will come forward because it's a compliment to them. It shows them that their efforts have not been in vain. And others begin to see this. Other gods begin to see this. And what I have found in beginning to experience, other gods are coming to me. Because when they begin to see your potential, you become very special. Not all of us make it, folks. I think as the Master said, many are chosen, but few make it. And I'm trying to communicate something to you. It'll carry you beyond this time, this life. And if you get it down inside of you, regardless of what may attack you, you have something that it can never take away. And within that knowledge, you can rise above it. You can begin to make it serve you. And I dare say there's many of us in this, watching this video. I can see your things going in the chat room. It's about time that the circumstances begin to bow down and start kissing your ass instead of you having to kiss their ass. How much of you would agree with that? Could you imagine you're going to become to a point where someone insults you and you will be able to see within just your power alone? You'll take that energy, and by the time it reaches to you, it is as the sweetest elixir you could ever imagine. You're a god. And us gods, when they begin to see us, be prepared. Because you'll have the homecoming that happens. It's replete in a lot of different religions, but there is a homecoming. And once the homecoming, the honeymoon, so to speak, is over, well, then they're going to get more testing going on. And I'll tell you, I think you'd rather go ahead and do as much of the testing here because it's just going to bode you better over there. And then you begin to look at it. How could there ever be a heaven or a hell? How can a heaven house a god? How could hell ever have an effect on a god? You're sovereign. You're sentient. You're a god. Start accepting it. All right, folks, I appreciate you, all of you. I just speak favor upon each and every one of you. I spoke it before. I spoke peace upon you. And most of all, I've allowed the spirit of wisdom to reign supreme in here. Warrior Princess, how about, I can't do it this Friday, but how about you and I get on and we'll do a fundraiser for you a week from this Friday. Email me and let's see what we can do. Folks, we can do a lot. Remember, last time Warrior Princess was on here, we raised, how much did we raise? She'll tell us. I know it was over $500-600. So let's do some good, folks. We're going to be mountain movers here. Every one of you who listen to this, every one of you that participate all the time, you are mountain movers, and you're going to be so effective in other people's lives. They're looking for you. They need you. It's how change becomes effective. We can rise above the hate. We can rise above all the rhetoric. We will not be pulled by a party or a dogma. No. I'm reading a book by Jacob. I'll introduce this tomorrow. He is making a provision for, it's a free book. It's on Kindle. So we'll get more into it tomorrow. All right, folks, I've extended my time. You all are so very special. Thank you for joining me. I am enriched by your presence, and I hope I've added a little something. All right. Be good to yourself. We'll talk to you. And thank you. Y'all are putting money out here. I just want to make acknowledgement of that. I saw that come through, and I just want to say thank you. Very, very kind of you. Who did that? Paula Jean, thank you. That was so kind of you. You rock, girl. Thank you very much. All right, folks, I'll see you then tomorrow. Be good to yourselves. This is how it starts. I'm going to tell you what, you will be the all's most favorite. He's going to look down at you and going to say, now that's my special one right there. All right, folks, I'll talk to you soon.